Here we have a new 2023 Toyota Camry in the SE trim level. The paint color is going to be ice cap. And then we have black softex fabric trimmed interior. The powertrain consists of a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And that gets us 203 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. Come around to the front end here. Really like how they made it look super sporty. I will say this kind of black plastic here, whatever it is, it looks really good without looking cheap. And I just love how everything's blacked out around the, it kind of goes good with the white, I should say. But we have LED headlamps there. And over here we have really nice 18-inch aluminum wheels. And love the tire design too. Passive keyless entry on the front. We do get one-touch automatic up and down windows for all 4 doors. Power door lock controls are here, rear window lock here, and then we just turn this knob to either side, then we can adjust the power mirrors there. Cup holders. And then we have our power driver's seat with power lumbar support. And like I said, you get the softex trim with the fabric inserts and just a really nice design, but it feels nice too. And then I have the seat in front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3". And then with longer legs like myself, this is what the legroom is going to be. And I just did a Camry LE, so I like to do these back to back to compare the trim levels. And still, like I said in that one, knees are touching the back of the seat, but they're not uncomfortable at all because this is kind of cushion here. So my knees are just in there and it doesn't really impede on the driver's seat at all. So that's impressive. And then I like that we have seat pockets on both sides and we get rear AC vents. And then we have 2 USB-A charge ports there. Let's fold down this middle seat. Cup holders there. And I really just like how this one is optioned out, which I'll show you all the window sticker here in a moment. But let's make our way to the back. So we do still have to open the gas cap from up front, but I like that it's just a button, not a lever. And then we also have a trunk button up front, but what's really great is I can do it from the back as well. Love that exhaust tip too. But really just like, again, blacked out badging here. Everything looks really, really cool. And then we have the button right there to pop the trunk. And of course, pretty generous space. Owner's manual's right here. And this one has a cargo mat. And then you can lift that up. And then you have your jacks and all that down there. But really like the look of this SE, especially with these 18s on here. But when that rear seat is unlocked, it'll fold flat there and you can run longer objects from the trunk all the way to the front if you need to. And then really easy to just pull it back up, lock it back into place. Let's just take a look at that. I love that pretty big cup holder they have there. Now on the window sticker, I want to give a huge shout out to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this today. We do get the Toyota Safety Sense 2.5 Plus. And then going to the options, cold weather package, definitely like having that. The heated seats with the heated steering wheel really comes in handy. And then love having the moonroof as well. And then having the audio upgrade is a big plus, having the bigger screen and then also having the wireless charging there. And then this one stickers for $33,523. And then 6-way manual front passenger seat there. Glove compartment here. But like I said, I just did an LE, and I will say it's about $6 grand difference between the LE and then how this SE is optioned out. Would definitely go with the SE personally, just because you get so much, and it really does transform the car, the extra $6,000. But if you don't like all these, if you don't necessarily need all these extra features, go with the LE, save you some money. But me personally, I would go with this SE. And there's that 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Let's go ahead, hop inside, check out some more of those extras. So for one, as opposed to the LE, you do get this leather wrap steering wheel, really nice. Love that. And of course, there's where you heat it right there. So to the radio here, you do get a really nice screen. Like I said, having that 9-inch screen is really helpful. And then you can go through here, you get your AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth audio, and you also get your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wired. And then you can project that there. Settings here. You get a Wi-Fi hotspot. And when you go into the apps, it'll show you that. And then we have our eco info there. And you have the map button here, but of course that has to be installed, so it's not going to be on this one. Volume knobs here, then tune knob is there. Hazards here, AC vents. I do like that we get the dual zone automatic climate controls, and we can just unsync that by hitting the button or adjusting the temperature over here. Use this button to direct the fan speed, or fan direction, excuse me, and then fan speed here. Then you can just cut it all off, which I like. And then I'll move the shifter out of the way, but we have a USB port under here, 12 volt there, and then we get this wireless charging pad. And what I really like about this is you can power it on and off if you want to, and then you still have that additional storage underneath here. Love having that hideaway. And then for the shifter, you just pull the lever, reverse, neutral, drive, and then you can slap over here, and you can manually shift here, or you can manually shift using the paddle shifters, which is another plus for me having this SE as opposed to the LE. Still have the same 3 drive modes: Eco, Normal, Sport. Cup holders there. We get the 3-stage heated seats as part of that cold weather package. Driver and front passenger. And then center console cubby space, which is a generous size. USB-A and a USB-C input right there. And then we have our power sunroof. And all the buttons for that are here. And we can one touch tilt it up, one touch open. And it goes back quite a way. You can hit it a second time to actually hit it all the way back. And then I like that you can one touch close it from being open as well. And then we do have our premium dome lights here. We have our garage door transmitter here. There's a view of the back seat from up here. And then going back to the steering wheel, we have our volume controls, voice recognition. This is the phone button when your Bluetooth is set up. And we can use these 4 arrows and the OK button to go through our gauge cluster here, that digital part in the middle. Then we have the back button for that as well. And then as part of our Safety Sense 2.5, we have our radar cruise control, lane tracing assist with the steering assist. We can adjust the gap for all of that, and then we can use this mode button to go through whether AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, whatever set up on our radio. And then we can use these arrows to go between our track list if we're like in the iPod or whatever mode, and then we can use it for our radio presets as well when we're on FM, XM, whatever. Headlamp controls are here. There's our auto, and then high beams. Just pull that back, and then you can flash like that. And then to the right side, we have our windshield wiper controls. Of course, you pull up for the windshield wiper fluid, and then one time there, intermittent, low, high, and we can set our intermittent using this middle knob here. And automatic high beam controls are here. Push button start with this one. And then we do have our key fob here. But next we're going to go ahead and take this 2023 Camry SE out on the road for a quick test drive. So I do like that you can just put the shifters on, or the paddle shifters on, whenever while driving. And just a really, really easy way to just start manually shifting if you forget to flop it over there. But I just like, and I've said this about pretty much every Camry that I can remember, I just love how easy these are to drive, and they're not as big of a slouch as you would expect in terms of having a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Still plenty of power for everyday driving. And specifically in sport mode, it can go. Like I said, I wouldn't consider it fast, but it gets the job done, definitely. And it's really hard to say anything bad about Camry these days. Now, I know the new Tundras, you know, they have those really reliable V8s that you couldn't kill, that would go a million miles, and they replaced them with the 3.5 liter twin turbo V6s, kind of like in the F-150s. So hopefully they won't be, I shouldn't say that. It'll be interesting to see how long those turbos last, but hopefully you still get that same reliability with the Tundras. But I do like that we still have the naturally aspirated V6 and 4-cylinder in these Camrys that we've grown to know and love as being one of the most reliable powertrains out there. And specifically having these 8-speed automatics here instead of going to a CVT. Really glad that Toyota has kept the Camry intact in terms of reliability. But all in all, coming down this back road here, ride is very, very good. And I've said this in every Camry review as well. It's not super smooth, but it's not choppy. It's normal. It just feels like a normal car should feel. And with the SE, like I said, I love having the bigger screen. I just love having the leather wrap steering wheel, being able to heat it. And I just like how just how this one is spec'd out in general, having the heated seats, heated steering wheel. And for under $34,000, really, you get about as much as you can get for the money in today's market, in my opinion. Because a big plus is definitely going to be that reliability. Just, these cars are so reliable, year in and year out, for decades. And even as technology has evolved, Toyota has still maintained that reliability factor for the vehicles they offer. I'm going to put in a manual mode here, and just to show you the shifts, I love how the shifts are not necessarily quick. Downshifts are, but the upshifts are just, you get that little bit of a lag there, in a good way though. So you're not damaging anything. Just really like how this car can be fun for that 10% of the time you want it, or maybe even 5% of the time you want it. But for everything else, it's just simple, as it should be. Now, I will say the road noise, it's there, but the sound is so non-intrusive. Even with these 18s on here, it really doesn't bother me. And a lot of that has to do with just the cabin in here is not as, how do I put this? The cabin dynamics are not as friendly in this as maybe the Chevy Malibu, or I can't remember about the Altima. But I mean, it's not an echo chamber in here, but it's also not overly loud either. Saying all that to say, it's easier to hear what's coming in from outside, just because the cabin acoustics are not as fantastic as some other competitors, which is not going to bother most people for this price point. But let's try this acceleration in sport mode. Now, I'm not even close to redlining, and still really good pickup. And you just get really good power with this car, with it being a 2.5 naturally aspirated, having 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. I'm just really impressed that this car gets up and goes like it does. I'm gonna put it in the eco mode now. And then look at that fuel economy. It's staying right at around 40 there. Just really impressive. And just a really good driver assist system here. The lane tracing is top notch. And the radar cruise just feels really, really good. And all in all, the ride coming down the interstate is really, really good. Like I said, it's not, I couldn't fall asleep driving this car, but it's absolutely perfect for just an everyday driver. Very comfortable without being overly comfortable, and really good steering without being overly stiff. And when you've been having a car as long as Toyota has with this Camry, several decades I should say, it's enough time to get your stuff nice and perfect. And I love the brake feel as well. It's not touchy, but it's also not squishy either. It's just the perfect amount of force needed to do what you need to do. So of course, very impressed. And I mean, it's still top dog if you're needing something super reliable, mid-sized car that rides well and checks all the boxes. And I'll say this about every Camry. And this will bring me to the end of my review of the new 2023 Toyota Camry SE.